We're going to use Copilot to assess a data set according to Benford's law. Now, Benford's law has a theoretical distribution for the first digit of a naturally occurring data set. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. We're going to go ahead and start a new chat. So I'm just going to click here and that'll start us. And the first thing we're going to do is actually download the data set. So let's see if we can find that data set here and upload that data. This particular data set is shows country name and population of those countries. And so we could ask it to show the last few lines of data. We could have it run various analyses. But I think we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to come right out and say, please run Benford's law on the first digit of the population variable. So we see this population variable. I'm asking it to run Benford's law. So I'm looking at the first digit of 198 observations of 198 countries in 2010. And this is what it will show. And here is the distribution here. So the red is the theoretical, the blue is the observed distribution. So I can see that there, and it looks fairly close. Like here's the percentage. I'd actually like to ask it now to do a histogram. So this is the frequency, and that's the percent of the time. But I could also ask it just how many of those 198 are there. Now it comes right out and says, hey, would you like me to run a statistical test? And so I could just say, I happen to know that it is a chi-square test, but I could just say, please run a statistical test. Let's go ahead and run a chi-square test to see if the actual is different than the theoretical. So let's go ahead and hit enter there. And we're going to see if it's different than the theoretical. It looks pretty close there. And we might be able to see. Now this gave me a chi-square statistic of 1.18 or a p-value of 0.997. Now you remember that if there is a high p-value, then there's no significant difference. If there is a low p-value, typically our alpha is 0.05. If it's less than 0.05, we would suggest that they're different. And so in this case, with a high p-value, which is here, the 0.997, we can see that our hypothesis suggests that the population data follows Benford's law. And so that shows that amount. Now we'll also notice that this time it showed something different. Here it was the percentage of time, and this time it gave how many observations of the 198 showed up there. And so we can just see that those change, and the histogram, which is typically counts, showed up there. Now we're going to ask it to go ahead and output that file, and so that we can save it. We could also just let's see, click on this, and sometimes it will let you just download it directly. Isn't looking like it's going to happen this time, so we're going to ask it to output that histogram, that final histogram, as a PNG file. Now I was going to look up at this one and see if this one would let us download, but it doesn't look like it wants us to do that either. So here it gave us this file, and here's the PNG file. Now even though I asked it for a specific name, it just gave me generated image. And let's just go peek at that and see what it gave us. And so here's what it gave us, the frequency and that. But I usually like it to tell me the file name, because otherwise I'll get confused on which is which. Finally, I'm going to ask it to display the prompts that I gave it. And so let's go ahead and do that. Now I could ask it to send it to a Word file or a text file. But here it's just printed it out to the screen. So here's the steps that I gave it. And that completes this lab.